She said, "I just asked him to put sunscreen on my back. If you're jealous, go home." Then she laughed and joked with him right there in front of everyone, like I didn't even exist. I didn't say a word. That night, I booked a flight home and left without a goodbye. The next morning, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. I just asked him to put sunscreen on my back. If you're jealous, go home. That's what she said, loud enough for half the beach to hear. People laughed awkwardly. She smiled at the tour guide, flipping her hair, pretending I wasn't standing a few feet away. I didn't argue, didn't roll my eyes, didn't ask for an explanation. I just said, "All right," and walked away. No scene, no yelling, no asking her to respect me. Back at the hotel, I packed my bag, booked the first flight out, and left. She thought I was bluffing. She always did. But this time, I was done. I didn't text her, didn't leave a note. I simply left. The next morning, the calls and messages poured in. Her name's Meera. We'd been together nearly 2 years. She was the kind of person who never entered a room quietly. Confident, charming, always laughing a bit too loud, touching people as she talked. The kind of woman who made heads turn. And she loved that attention. When we met, that energy drew me in. I liked that she wasn't reserved or dull. But with time, I noticed something else. She didn't just enjoy attention, she depended on it. And every time I mentioned feeling uneasy, she'd laugh and say, "You're overthinking. I'm just being friendly." That was her favorite line. Just friendly. Whether she was sitting too close to some guy at a bar or texting old friends late at night, it was always just friendly. I used to let it go, not because I didn't see it, but because I refused to play babysitter in my own relationship. If someone wants to cross a line, they will. You don't stop them by standing in front of it. So I watched, listened, and learned. Meera liked being noticed by men more than she valued being respected by one. That was fine, until she started doing it in front of me. When she invited me on that beach trip with her friends, I said yes. Part of me wanted a break from work. Another part wanted to see how she acted around people who actually knew me. I wasn't looking for a fight, just clarity. Her friend group was exactly what I expected. Loud, funny, constantly taking selfies, recording every moment for Instagram stories. Meera fit right in, soaking up attention like it was oxygen. I didn't say much. I'm not the type to compete for space in a noisy crowd. The first day went smoothly. We swam, ate seafood, had drinks by the pool. She kept things light, only teasing me a few times, the kind of jokes that sit just on the edge of disrespect. I stayed calm. There's no point arguing about tone when the intent is clear. But on the second day, everything shifted. She was in her element, new bikini, sunglasses, music loud. I could see it in her posture. She wasn't just enjoying the beach, she was performing. Every glance from a stranger was another dose of validation. Then came the tour guide, Leo, a fit local guy, polite and helpful. He was just doing his job. But Meera turned it into a scene, touching his arm when she laughed, complimenting his tattoos, asking him to help her with sunscreen. I was sitting right there, towel in hand. She didn't ask me, didn't even look my way, just turned around and called for him like I didn't exist. That was Meera, someone who wanted reactions, not a relationship. The kind who throws sparks just to see if you'll burn for her. I'd burned enough. When she saw me watching, she smirked. "What? Don't tell me you're jealous again," she said. Then louder, so her friends could hear. "I just asked him to put sunscreen on my back. If you're jealous, go home." That wasn't about sunscreen. It was about control, about showing everyone she could embarrass me and still expect me to stay. That's when I realized she didn't respect me. She was testing if I respected myself. For a second, everything around us froze. The music, the laughter, even the waves seemed to pause. If you're jealous, go home. Half the group looked at me, the other half at her. They were waiting for an argument, an apology, anything to break the silence. But I gave them nothing. Meera kept smirking, sunglasses low on her nose, waiting for me to react, play the insecure boyfriend so she could feel superior. She wanted a scene. Instead, I gave her silence. I didn't look angry. I didn't flinch. I just said quietly, "Okay." And that single word hit harder than shouting ever could. Her smile faltered for a second before she forced it back, fake and too bright. "Oh, come on. Don't be dramatic," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "He's so sensitive, right?" Her friends laughed, the kind of laugh people give when they want tension to go away, not because something's funny. I didn't respond. I picked up my towel, shook off the sand, and walked away. She kept calling behind me, her voice chasing me up the beach. "Are you seriously leaving? Adam, don't ruin the mood. You can sulk later. We're having fun." But I didn't turn around. When someone disrespects you publicly, looking back is just an invitation for more. Back at the hotel, I could still feel the sun burning on my skin, but inside, I was calm. Too calm. That's when I knew it was over. Real endings don't come with shouting or tears. They come with quiet certainty. I showered, packed my things carefully, folded my clothes, unplugged my chargers. Each small act felt like taking back a part of myself I'd given away. By the time I zipped the suitcase, "The beach N," she texted once. "Seriously? You're going to act like a child because I made a joke?" I didn't reply. Then came another, "If you walk out over this, don't bother coming back." I smiled, not out of anger, but because it made the decision simple. I was already gone. Downstairs, I stopped at the front desk. The clerk recognized me and smiled. I smiled back, handed over the room key, and paid my share. He asked, "Will the other guest be checking out too?" "Not yet," I said. "She's staying a little longer." He nodded. Outside, the air smelled of salt and sunblock. The airport shuttle was waiting by the curb. I climbed in, set my suitcase down, and watched the resort disappear through the window. No guilt, no hesitation, no music, just peace. During the ride, I scrolled through my gallery, photos of us smiling, laughing, looking happy. They all seemed fake now. Not because she had been pretending, but because I had, pretending that everything was fine. She didn't want a partner. She wanted an audience, and I was done being part of her show. At the airport, I bought a coffee, checked the earliest flight home, and booked it. The attendant asked if I wanted cancellation insurance. "No need," I said. "I'm not changing my mind." I boarded the plane without hesitation. No lingering emotions, no dramatic reflections out the window. Just a man finally walking away from something he should have left long ago. When we landed early the next morning, I turned my phone back on. Within seconds, it started buzzing. Message after message, her name filling the screen. At first, I ignored them. But curiosity got the better of me, and I opened one. "Are you really doing this? You just left. Everyone's asking where you went. This is humiliating." Another message followed. You're overreacting. It was a joke. Don't make this a big deal. Then came the third. They're making me pay your part of the room. My card isn't going through. Can you just transfer your share so I can check out? I stared at that last one for a few seconds before locking my phone. Sometimes, silence is the most costly answer you can give someone. By noon, the notifications were still coming. Calls, texts, voice notes. I placed my phone face down on the table and kept working. Silence spoke louder than anything I could have said. Then a text arrived from an unknown number, one of Meera's friends. Curiosity, not emotion, made me open it. Hey man, this is Daniel. You don't know me well, but just FYI, she's freaking out. The hotel's asking her to cover your share since it's one booking. Her card keeps getting declined. She's crying at the front desk. Thought you should know. I looked at the message for a few seconds, then typed 2 words. She'll manage. That was it. I muted the chat. Half an hour later, another ping. This time, a screenshot from their group chat. Meera arguing with the manager, raising her voice, still trying to look in control. Then another message came from a girl named Chloe, one of the quieter ones in the group. You told him to go home if he's jealous. Guess he just did. No one replied after that. By evening, she must have realized no one was coming to help her. The tone of her messages changed, from angry to panicked to pleading. Please, I'm sorry. Can we just? You embarrassed me by leaving like that. They're making me look stupid. And finally, the hotel won't let me check out. Please, just transfer the money. I didn't respond. I just scrolled through them slowly, watching her words shift from arrogance to desperation. It was never about the money. It was about control, and she couldn't handle losing it. That night, Daniel texted again. She's asking everyone for cash. No one's lending. I think she assumed I'd pay online or something. She's losing it, man. She told everyone I left her stranded. I sent one final reply. She told me to go home. Daniel didn't text again. A few hours later, Meera posted a story, a photo of the beach at sunset with the caption, "When you love someone insecure, they'll always find a reason to run." The comments were brutal. Even her own friends called her out. Strong women don't humiliate their partners in public. He didn't run. You pushed him. She deleted the story within 10 minutes, but by then, screenshots were everywhere. For the first time in a long while, I didn't feel the need to defend myself. People had seen what they needed to see. You can fake affection, but you can't fake respect. By the second night, her tone changed again. Softer, slower. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I was just joking. Can we fix this? Then another a few minutes later. I hate you can just leave and not care. She was wrong about that part. It wasn't that I didn't care. I just stopped trying to care for someone who never cared back. Daniel texted once more the next morning. Hotel finally got paid. She had to call her mom to wire money. Whole thing was awkward. Then a laughing emoji. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. I turned off notifications and went for a walk. The air felt cleaner somehow. Maybe it was just the absence of noise. Sometimes you don't have to destroy someone's ego. You just stop feeding it. Reality takes care of the rest. A week passed before she called again. Different number this time. I almost admired her persistence. I let it ring twice before answering. The first few seconds were silent. Then her shaky voice came through. You really left me there, Adam. I had to call my mom for money. Do you know how humiliating that was? Her tone wasn't angry anymore. It sounded small, almost scared. I didn't interrupt. I just let her speak. You didn't even check if I was okay. After everything we've been through, That's how you treat me? Over one stupid comment? I finally spoke, calm, even. No, Meera, not over one comment. Over every time you thought disrespect was cute. Every time you made me feel invisible. That sentence on the beach was just the last one. She tried to cut in. I was joking. You weren't, I said. And even if you were, it told me everything I needed to know. For a few seconds, the only sound was her breathing. Then she said soft, it felt like the calm after a storm that had dragged on for too long. That was the last time we spoke. I didn't block her. I didn't have to. She stopped trying. And honestly, that silence felt better than closure ever could. A few weeks later, I started talking to someone new. Her name's Claire. She works in marketing. Calm voice, kind eyes, zero drama. We met at a client dinner, talked about books, travel, and how peaceful it feels when people communicate like adults. She didn't flirt for attention. She listened. She laughed at the right moments and didn't make everything about herself. It felt easy, refreshing even. I didn't rush it, didn't compare, didn't mention Meera. She didn't need to know. What mattered was that when Claire spoke, I didn't feel like I had to defend myself just to be heard. Sometimes, peace feels so unfamiliar that you mistake it for boredom. But after Meera, I knew better. Peace isn't boring, it's healing. A few days ago, Daniel texted one last time. Hey man, just FYI, Meera's back home. She's been telling people she learned her lesson. Not that it matters, I replied, then muted the thread. I didn't hate her. I didn't forgive her either. I just stopped caring. Some people don't learn from losing you. They only learn when the bill finally arrives, literally and metaphorically. I don't wish her pain, but I'm glad I left when I did, before I forgot what peace felt like. Now, every morning feels quieter. Not empty, just peaceful. Now every morning feels quieter. Not empty, just peaceful. So yeah, maybe I did go home, but for the first time in years, it actually feels like home. If you were in my place, what would you have done? Would you have stayed and argued, or walked away like I did? Thanks for listening. Sometimes the hardest stories to tell are the quiet ones. The ones where you don't shout, don't fight. You just leave.